Have you ever felt like you are carrying too much, either emotionally, physically, mentally? You ever feel like the weight that you have on your shoulders and in your mind is overbearing? If so, keep watching this video because I'll talk about why the end of the year is the perfect time to take inventory of your life, and also why the journey of moving abroad is also the perfect time to take inventory. So first, this whole concept of taking inventory really just is a journey of self-reflection and introspection, to where you take time to take a step back and look upon yourself as an outsider. And within that process, you're able to say, okay, what are the things that are in my mind or in my heart that are limiting me from moving forward? What are some roadblocks that I keep running up against and it seems like I can never get past it? And then once you take some time to meditate on that and sit with that, then you identify it as something that can either be removed from your life or something that you need to keep in your life to continue working on it. And so I like to relate this whole concept of taking inventory as this picture. So every time that I go to the US, since I moved to Europe, to France, every time I go back to the US and I get ready to leave to come back to France, I always take a really, really big suitcase with me. And I know it's overweight. And whenever I get to the counter at the airport, it's usually a lady, and she asks me, well, your bag is overweight, so what are some things that you can leave behind? Is there anything that you can leave behind? And when she asked me that question, I pause, because it forces me to look inside of my suitcase and see if there's anything that I absolutely do not need for the journey ahead. And usually when I'm talking to the lady, I make a conversation with them and I let them know, like, hey, I'm not just visiting. I'm living overseas. I'm living in France. And when I tell them that, 9 times out of 10, they give me more grace, because they say, oh, wow, are you a student? What are you doing there? Because when someone is able to see that you are taking a risk and taking a leap of faith to do something that's out of the norm, usually that's welcomed with grace. But at the same time, it may be welcomed with envy. And so, as it's the end of the year, and it's perfect time to take inventory of your life and look back over the past year, it's important to realize that this process of taking inventory, it may not be a good thing for everybody. It may rub some people the wrong way, because some people may realize that in the past year or past years, they just held you back. And you making the decision to move forward with less weight, it's something that you're doing for you. And that's okay, right? It's important to realize that sometimes doing things for yourself is healthy. And although it may hurt some people at the beginning, if someone really loves you, really cares for you, they'll accept you doing something that's best for you. Because at the end of the day, it's like you have to live with yourself. And the worst thing that you could do is live out your entire life and realize that there were many, many instances where you chose somebody else over yourself. And so I see a resemblance between the end of the year coming up and the opportunity to go into the new year with some less weight, meaning less stuff on your plate. If you have some responsibilities that you don't really need to continue with, you can cancel those. If you have people, you cancel those projects, cancel those, as long as they're just weight holding you back. And then when you're moving abroad too, like you ideally can't take everything that you own, right? You may be able to take a couple suitcases, but you can't take everything. And so during that process of moving abroad, you really have to realize and visualize and ask yourself the question, what am I going to need in this next stage of my life? And what am I not going to need? And the cool thing about it is, now that I've been living abroad for 3 years, I can recommend that you leave some open space for some things that you may gain in this next chapter, because you never know what is on that, or what is there for you when you get off that plane. And that's similar to the new year. Go into the new year with some open space, some bandwidth, some capacity to welcome new things into your life. Because when you go into it with that mindset, you'll find that new things are waiting for you. And you can't accept new things unless there's space for it. You can't add things to your suitcase if there's no room. But if you go into a new location, you go into a new trip, a new experience with the mindset of, hey, I'm open and willing to welcome something new, so I'm going to leave some space, most likely you'll find something that fits that exact empty space that you set. It may not know what it is now. It may be impossible to know, but you can set the expectation that you're taking inventory, you're leaving some space, and you're going to enter this next experience, this next chapter, with expectation of gaining something new, gaining something healthy. And so along this journey, the Pack It Up group is a place that may be able to fill some space that you have. If you're someone who wants to move abroad, but you don't put in the time, the research, the connections, the Pack It Up group is a place for us to walk through that journey together. So the link is in the description, and we'd love to see you on the other side. If you have any questions, comment them. And yeah, let me know, what are you leaving behind and what would you like to make some room for in this next chapter, this next season of your life as we enter a new year and maybe you enter a new season of becoming a global citizen. So yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love.